Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting book look with your host with the most, Andy Smith, 33-year veteran of the comic book industry. Last week, it was the Wizard Millennium Edition featuring Mark Silvestri. This week, it is Jim Lee. Next week, Michael Turner. And there is an Alex Ross one, which I don't have. You know, if any of you lovely viewers would like to send me the Alex Ross one as a friendship gift, I would gladly accept it, because that's the type of guy I am. I don't look a gift horse in the mouth, and because mama raised me right. So anyhow, we are going to look through this Millennium Edition featuring Jim Lee, who, one of my favorite artists. I generally follow him on whatever he does, which in this day and age saves my pocketbook because he doesn't do really much of anything. Of course, I discovered Jim on X-Men. In fact, 268, classic issue. I've got a few of that cover because of that comic, because of that cover. Jeff Loeb does the intro. Top of the world, and you're to blame. Jim Lee gives love a bad name. I don't know why I busted out into song. Superman, I've stood next to Jim Lee. He doesn't know me from a hole in the ground, but he is not that tall. There you go, some early work. Alpha Flight. I got to admit, I dug. I liked his Alpha Flight stuff. You could see where he was going. His Punisher stuff I thought was really cool. Very Kevin Nolan, Mike Mignola-esque. More Kevin Nolan, though, you can definitely see in the Punisher work here. Obviously, when he went over and started doing X-Men, you could see a lot more Barry Windsor Smith in his work. Here we go, A Week in the Life of Jim Lee. I believe this came out, let me see. In fact, I'm almost 100% sure. Well, the introduction was 2004, so I'm pretty sure at this point Wildstorm was already sold to DC. But this is kind of cool, just going through a day in the life. How this guy gets any drawing done is amazing. I mean, he is a workaholic. I love this. I remember seeing this when I got this book in 2004, going, oh man, that's a BlackBerry. I want one of those. I want to be able to check email and do cool stuff like that. Those back then were only for the elite. Now everybody has a smartphone and stuff. Behind Jim Lee's Superman. So you can already tell this book, I haven't looked at this, so I could be wrong. It's been, 20 years. Looks like this book is leaning more towards DC because you don't see a lot much of the Marvel stuff. I did, I bought Batman Hush, really enjoyed it, but I really did. I got to admit, I really enjoyed the Superman stuff he did. I mean, just look at that Superman, big, beefy, bulky Superman. Hush, the director's commentary. Kind of cool going through Lee and Williams talking about different things. I remember, probably was reading this. This was like the big first shot, and very Dark Knight in regards to how beefy he is and the size of his head and stuff. And then as the series went on, I wish you could see this spread better. As the series went on, he did knock his head down some for a leaner type Batman in proportions. Great 2-page spread here. He did this great, I don't know if it was in Hush or Dark Knight, but he did a great fold out. It was like a 2-page, it was a fold out on the left page and the right hand page. So once it was folded out, it was a 4-page spread of the Batcave, and just crazy. Even on this one, you can see there's the 66 Batmobile down there. That looks like it could have been a movie one. I mean, he worked in like all the Batmobiles. That's definitely, it looks like 89 Batmobile. And I liked how, I think he just did gray tones. Or he might have done, let me see. I should actually just read it. I wonder if people noticed in the ink wash panels that the more distant the memories, the more monochromatic they were. So he says ink wash. So I think, if memory serves, he did a gray tone, black and white ink wash, and then somebody else did the coloring over top, if I remember correctly. Don't hold me to that. True Hollywood story, talking about the foundation of image. It'd be interesting to read through this and then listen to Rob Liefeld's podcast, Robservations, and see if it lines up exactly right and how it happened. Whilce Portaccio didn't hang around long. Jim Valentino. Wildstorm A to Z. Of course, Wildstorm was his studio. Mark Silvestri at Image had Top Cal. Rob Liefeld had Extreme. And Jim had Wildstorm. So A to Z. Man, I haven't looked at this book in a while. I really thought this might focus more on just Jim, but it's not, actually. I gotta admit, really dug Wildcats. Travis Charest, one of the best guys, started at DC as a major Jim Lee clone, and then Wildstorm, and he just evolves into this fantastic artist. All access peek into the personalities and work areas at Wildstorm. So you got Jim Lee, probably his desk. Scott Williams, inker extraordinaire over Jim for soon to be, 35 years, soon to be 40 years. Whilce Portaccio, Alex Sinclair, one of the best colorists in the biz. Richard Friend, great inker. Carlos Donata, fantastic artist. Sandra Hope, just a fantastic inker. Trevor Scott, great inker, who I got to work with on Earth 2 when I drew that. And then alumni, another huge name coming out of Wildstorm, J. Scott Campbell. His first work was very Art Adams-esque, and then got some Jim Lee tendencies, and then Jay just totally turned into his own monster. Lee Bermejo, some of the first stuff I saw him do was the Superman Gen 13 crossover. Adam Hughes was supposed to draw it. He couldn't, so he wrote it. Lee drew it, and now he is just another phenomenal artist. Ali Garza, love his work. Art Adams influenced, and just nice cartoony. Unfinished business. Jim Lee unearths the projects that almost were. So this is kind of worth it for that. Here's a cover, an unfinished cover. Here's another unfinished cover he was doing. So he obviously was doing pencil and inks. Very nice cross-hatching up in here on that face. Unfinished Punisher Nick Fury, Rules of the Game, page 1. I think Scott Williams was inking this. I'm not exactly sure. Looks like it. I wish this was finished, though, because it looks really freaking cool. That is very cool looking. Guys in the chat, leave a comment. Let me know who was supposed to ink this. So this book is worth it really just for this, because I don't remember seeing this stuff published anywhere before. So far, we're 7 pages in. 8, 9, there you go. Classic Jim Lee right here. Love that stuff. Love the inking. Him and Scott are just, it's like Alan Davis and Mark Farmer going together. And then, of course, page 10. Look at that. We were deprived of this great shot of the Punisher. Why? I should have went back and reread why this didn't come out. I might have to do that later. That is so awesome. It's like that Iron Man cover. If only he was in that specific pose. But I don't know. You know, this almost looks like Jim might have been inking it himself. Page 11. How many pages of this book are we going to get? And with this many done, Marvel, you're sitting on money. You own it. Just put it out. Unfinished. Who cares? Private gallery. Love this. Jim playing with watercolors. Very cool. More watercolor stuff. I love the toned paper with gray tones, whiteout and stuff. Joe Kubert did that a lot. Adam Kubert did it a lot. Andy Kubert did it some, but not as much as Adam does. That's really cool. That gives me a Sam Keith vibe. So yeah, this book is, Wizards definitely went into this going, yeah, we're going to talk more about DC and just brush over X-Men, it looks like. This is really cool. Punisher birthday card. He was really looking at Michael Golden for this birthday card, because that face. Some of this stuff has been printed. That was printed in the Thundercats source book. Very nice dramatic lighting. Not, you know, there are characters that not every artist can draw. Neil Adams, I said before, love his work, could draw almost anything, but never really got a good handle on the Thing from the Fantastic Four. I haven't seen Jim draw Spider-Man much, but I don't know. That's just not really doing much for me. Unless, nope, that's all Jim. I thought maybe he drew Doc Ock, somebody else drew Spider-Man, like a jam piece, but no. Love the way he handled the buildings in the background. Classic right there. Man, to see Jim go back and do the X-Men again, oof, that'd be great. Look at that Colossus. Yeah. Great Batman. I mean, he is this centuries, I guess you could say that. You know, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez was the guy that did all the style guides for DC back in the 80s. They did a whole book that artists would get, style guides. And I tell you, DC, once again, sitting on a gold mine. If they would print that style guide book as a printed book, they would be making some money. I'm lucky enough, I own the PDF of the whole thing. But man, anyhow, and now Jim, you see a lot of their production art or promotion art and stuff, and it's Jim Lee. So here we go, 1986. I believe Jim was born in 63. So 23 years old, he started at Marvel. Some Psylocke designs. 1980, so you can see a little John Byrne influence here. 1986. Wow. What a difference like 5 years makes, or even 3 years. Big John Byrne influence here when he was 20. Very cool original cover design to X-Men 1. Takeoff on the very first cover that Jack did with Magneto in the foreground, the X-Men all coming at him and stuff. Love seeing this underdrawing stuff. Jim Lee said he learned a lot from George Bridgman. George Bridgman, great artist. I highly recommend you look him up for drawing. Dave Finch uses him a lot, or learned a lot from his books. I have. God, I love that Hulk. Look at that. Just really high contrast. Slapped in with a Sharpie. Love this design stuff. Oh, first Pro Batman, 1993. I can't remember if this saw print or not, but very cool. I mean, that is what he was drawing like at the time. Love this side of the pencil stuff. Just so many ways to interpret this. For the Inkwell Awards that Bob Ullman does yearly, one year he sent around a Jim Lee page from, I can't remember what it was from, but Batman and Superman were on it. And it was a published page for all the inkers participating to ink. And I did it, and it's the one time I inked Jim Lee. All those blue-lined original ink jobs were auctioned off. It was fun to do. Love these designs. I actually posted it on Twitter after I did it, and Jim gave me a nice compliment about it. Love these Legion designs. You know what? I might have to do a book look, now that I'm thinking about it, on the DC art of Jim Lee. I think that's what it's called. So here's his checklist. Once again, alphabetical order instead of chronological. I wish it was chronological. Love these. I don't own everything he did, but I own a lot of stuff, that's for sure. So yeah, so it just goes to a checklist. And burn through that. Jim Lee Gallery, yeah. There you go, one of his first covers, Alpha Flight 53 cover pencils. That is Terry Austin on inks. That's really cool. Some more of his pencils, or some more of his finished covers here. Oh, what is that sound for? That's my wife leaving. If you can hear the garage door, she's leaving me. No, she's got to go pick up our daughter from work. Love this. This is 88. Very John Byrne looking. Jim inked this one himself. Even the pose of Snowbird here, very John Byrne looking. I think he inked that one too. This is different, this Alpha Flight, because this, I'm looking for who inked it. It doesn't say. I don't think it's Jim, but I don't see his signature either. This always looked like Ron Lim to me for some reason. Oh, they didn't show one of the best Alpha Flight covers. So his Punisher stuff, really cool, very Kevin Nolan looking in the lighting and stuff. Here you go, drawn Spider-Man. That's cool. I don't think Jim colored this. I see his signature. Yeah, I don't know. Ghost Rider, did a Nom cover, Quasar cover. Valentino drew this cover and Jim Lee inked it over him. Oh, this is cool. Who knew? Ron Lim inked by Jim Lee. That's pretty freaking cool. Totally forgot he did Transformers covers. Knew about the Conan covers. So those are really cool. Of course, this is from a poster book, I believe. Yep, Wolverine covers. So many freaking... This is it, baby. This is probably his most recognized Marvel cover. Of course, I'll turn the page and see another one and go, no, it's not. It's this one. But this is great. Great story. I own a couple issues of it. I think they did Did they do a facsimile? If they did, I own that too. This whole run right here was just so nice from 268 on up. Of course, this cover, wow. Just freaking cool. Love seeing him draw them in those classic costumes. This is great. Marvel pinup pencils, inked by Art to Bear. Great stuff. Love these designs. Of course, who can forget X-Men #1? I've got I've got every iteration of this cover for X-Men #1. I still love this book so much. And it's just another take on the famous Jack Kirby #1 cover. The X-Men ladies. No, I take it back. The ladies are Spotlight, but there is Forge, Banshee, and Colossus. So I take that back. So nice. Oh, you know what? I actually found the pencils to this somewhere online, and I actually inked this for fun as well. And I used a 102 because I want to try and get that snappy looking line. This was from a swimsuit book. Oh, door poster, so freaking cool. The American cover, love that Silver Surfer. Hardcore cover, that was inked by Bob Layton. And then we get the Wildcats. Oh yeah. This stuff was just great. Oh my God, this gets me so excited for comics. It really does. Oh, Wildcats X-Men team up. Love the issue Jim did. Travis did an issue. Adam Hughes did an issue. Love them all. Yeah. So getting to the end of the book, Death Blow, he did in a very high contrast style, like Frank Miller, just saying. But he pulled it off. He showed Jim is so versatile. Look at that. Frank Miller on steroids. Love that. Oh yeah, he did an issue with Savage Dragon. Finishes by Joe Bennett. Such a great freaking issue. Of course, he did do a couple issues of Gen 13. I own a page from, I think it's this issue of Gen 13, number 7. Jim's art that's really nice. Just some various other covers and stuff. Oh yeah, Fantastic Four. His Fantastic Four stuff just really was nice. Real nice. Grifter She, he did some pages in, as well as Travis. Oh, that's a great looking book. Fantastic Four, look at that cap. I mean, these were great. Definitely read those. Would have been nice to see him draw some of the interiors for this Avengers stuff, but he just did covers. Profit cover, cool. And it bounced around. Who would think Jim Lee doing a Preacher cover, but he did, and it works. This was DC's Christmas card one year. I remember getting that in 98, thinking that was pretty cool. 98, God, it's hard to believe Jim's been with DC. Wow, that's crazy. Divine Right. Divine Right. I have the first trade paperback. I don't have the second. Hint, hint, if anybody wants to buy me the second trade paperback and send it to me, that'd be cool. If you've backed my projects, you've got my address on a return envelope, return Gemini mailer. Or if you really want to get it for me, I'll give you my address. Just a fun series. That's how you sell a book right there. $19.98. And then some Trans Metropolitan covers. Very Art Adams looking right there. Very nice, though. Oh, yeah. Thundercats variant. I don't have that one. That is cool, though. Sandra Hope inked that one. Oh, his Wonder Woman, Stan Lee. What if Stan Lee created DC, basically? His Wonder Woman, very cool. Really cool. Her pants are just totally white. No line work in them when he drew it. Very, very freaking cool. This was some of the first Jim Lee DC stuff. This is for the Warner Brothers Studio store. Just really of things to come. You know, he definitely got better and a better handle drawing Batman and Superman, all these characters, once he started doing it. Oh, yeah, nice spread of the JSA. Oh, yeah, then he did Green Lantern covers. That's right, I totally forgot. He did do a batch of Green Lantern covers. He actually designed, what is it, this Green Lantern costume right here that I had to draw and was not a fan of. So I like that costume. Daryl Banks, not a fan of that one. Sorry, Jim. Yeah, this costume, just not a fan. These pad things that are coming down his arms and stuff. I don't know, just kind of weird. Oh, it all begins here. Batman Hush. I remember this issue thinking, oh my God, I need to see Jim Lee draw Superman monthly. And then he did. Because like I said, I'm more of a Superman fan than a Batman guy. Very cool triple gatefold cover there. And different things. Wizard World Chicago program book. They designed lots of stuff off of Jim's art. Statues, action figures. I do have the Superman action figure because it really looks like you're holding a Jim Lee piece of artwork in your hand. So if you want to draw like Jim Lee, get one of the action figures because you can look at it from any angle and it has his proportions and stuff. In fact, there it is right there. I love these. I love owning a full comic page, but I'd almost like to own a sheet like this that he did. That's just great. I would love to see Kevin Nolan ink Jim Lee. Okay, I'm glad this is in here. This Coup d'etat issue, this was like 4 issues, each one drawn by a different artist. Jim did pencils and inks on this issue. It is freaking awesome. Seriously awesome. It's kind of Klaus Janson-y in the way he inked it. Seriously, hunt this down just to see it. It is great. I remember buying this Wizard magazine when it came out. More Wizard magazines with Jim Lee and others covers. I think I still have this one. Nice Michael Turner, Jim Lee. Love this. Apollo and Midnighter. Basically, Wildstorm's Batman and Superman. The dark and the light. Very cool characters. They're a gay couple. I got no problem with that. Brand new characters. Make them whatever you want. No need to change existing characters. Just make up new ones. That's what he did. And these guys are boss level characters. They are badass. Oh, one of my favorite spreads here. Love that fighting. This was the last man standing. Superman fighting Batman. Of course, Superman will kill Batman in 2 seconds. So it doesn't even have to get close. He uses heat vision and take him out. Wolverine, age 13. Age 21, very John Byrne looking. And then age 40, this one, you know, you can't really see where he's going. But from that to that, you can definitely see it. Very cool looking stuff right there. There you go, guys. Thank you for joining me on this book look. Next week, like I said, I only have these 3, Mark Silvestri, Jim Lee, and Michael Turner. So I'll complete the trilogy of what I own, unless somebody wants to send me the Alex Ross one. Hint, hint, again. Guys, go check out KOR-DRATH, The Awakening. It's the new campaign. It is great. If you liked Volume 1, KOR-DRATH, The Reckoning, you will love KOR-DRATH, The Awakening. I guarantee it. The big, huge, overarching story continues in this volume. Vordoom has been introduced as the big menace. Check out the campaign page, link in the description below. And also, take your time scrolling through it. We got mini figures now. That's right. You can get a 2-inch, a 3-inch, or a 5-inch KOR-DRATH figure to go along with it. Dennis wrote a new game module. The first stretch goal is the Vordoom character card, playable character card. Great art on the front by myself and Dan Lawless. And on the back, stats that Dennis came up with. You can play them in the KOR-DRATH game or any game of your choice. So check it out, guys. Please support the campaign. It's because of you guys and your support from buying the book that allowed Dennis and I to do this book and get it in your hands. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you next week with another book look. Like, subscribe, and share.